portal grades thus far, A through F. I want to throw this to you, Sean. And what's a realistic move they can do to bump the grade up? So I'm going to assume, and I'm going to put some words in Jacob's mouth here, but I'm going to assume he means whatever grade you give them, what's something that you think they could add without, naming any specific player? What's a skill that you think they could add that would take that up a whole grade level?
A very, very tough question because I think there's a lot of ways you can go with this in terms of the overall. I mean, there's the overall portal season, then there's who they've brought in, and in my mind, right now I have it as a general B, knowing that they didn't get caught flat-footed like they did last year. They were able to get a very high-ranked big man, which was a focus. They were able to add some shooting with Powell, a depth piece, and Stevenson, and then Evans from a point guard combo position. So they added 4, which is not easy. There's a lot of other teams still looking for premium pieces. Sherrell posted the CBS article talking about the $10 million plus club. So they spent a lot of money. So that's a plus. But I think you're still wanting more from it, knowing what departed and what some of the deficiencies slash probably a higher volume of players at the front court than on the wing and the back court. So one, in terms of bumping the overall portal up, is obviously Drake coming back, or if he's not coming back, trying to land a premier wing, in my opinion. But also from a secondary perspective, still trying to add some guard depth from a potential combo guard, I'd say. Now, I think how it's laid out right now, they're paying money to Dixon. He is one of their top recruits, first team All-Met, Washington Post, et cetera, et cetera. So right now the expectation is that he is going to play off the bench and that he's going to have to produce, which I don't think is a far expectation. But there's still some holes missing for that ideal team to get into A minus or B plus, A minus A type rating for me.
All right, Sherrell, I'm going to take some of your famous words that you've had to regurgitate again and again on the message boards recently. But this is from Tar Heel Basketball 2010. Now that all major, air quotes, additions are complete, can you talk about Tanner and Hubert's strategy moving forward? I think folks are curious a little bit about, was North Carolina done in the portal? You've been very, very, as always, cautious with your word choice, and you've been very explicit. And I think some folks just, for whatever reason, are struggling to pick up what you're putting down. But I'm going to ask you again, if you might be able to speak to a little bit of, considering that the major work is done, what might be Tanner and Davis's process moving forward, as best that you're able to elaborate.
Yeah, I think it's still TBD, honestly, because think about this. Jim Tanner has not been on the job for 2 months. So he was hired on February 28th, and, it's Easter weekend. So it hasn't quite been a full 2 months. The job, when he got hired, pretty much it was meet with Hubert Davis, meet with some important people in the athletic department, and work on the portal. And that's been job number 1 through 5 since he started. So I don't think they've even had a bunch of time, to be honest, to really map out, okay, what exactly are we looking for? What exactly does this look like? We reported a couple of weeks ago, basically, that Tanner was working with Buzz Peterson and then TJ Beisner, who used to run the Secondary Break Club, which was Carolina's collective. Those 3, along with Eric Hoots, Carolina's director of player personnel, is what our sources said have kind of been like the brain trust as far as the recruiting board and making contacts and just kind of helping Tanner out. So I think that's been the focus since he got the job. And so I don't even think they have a real standard way of working, a standard, this is what UNC is looking for, a standard, this is how we're going to contact agents. All that stuff, I think, is still in process because just with the way the portal works and with how much work they had to do in the portal, they had to jump on it. They had to go to it 100%. And that's why you haven't seen, any staff announced. You haven't seen any additional hires from Tanner or anything like that, because they were 100% focused on the portal from the time he got the job. And, people kind of close to them have pretty much said his job is to help Hubert Davis do whatever it takes to win. And the first step in that was attacking the portal.